Hi there, welcome to my channel. This is my first official post on this page, and I have been wanting for a while to come on here and talk to young women or women of any age about just the personal growth um, that I've experienced. In talking to friends and family, I'm always being told you need to speak to people, you need to share what you know, and help the girls out. Now, my delivery, I'm an Aries. My delivery might be a little harsh. My delivery might seem a little heartless, but it's coming from a space of truth and of almost desperation to wake people up. But not in a sense that I will ever force you. It's just my delivery. So please forgive me in advance. Um, Today, I wanted to talk about what has led to my journey of personal growth, or at least a realization that I am growing, and how I got to be the woman that you see before you. I realize that life has been a fairy tale most of my life. I grew up pretty sheltered from a single parent household, and in growing up that way, my mom did an excellent job at not exposing us to too much. There was a lot of things I didn't know. I never had a drink of alcohol before I was in college. I didn't know marijuana was real until I was in college. And while I love that we were not exposed to too much too young, and it helped me become the woman that I am today, I know that sometimes on some children that can backfire, because the first sign of exposure, you lose your mind. But fortunately, I also know my personality is not one to get lost or get caught up. I've learned I don't have an addictive personality. I can try something and not like it and never do it again. I can try something and be obsessed with it, and if it's not healthy for me, never do it again. That's just my personality. So at the sign of exposure, I did not lose my mind when it came to my first drink of liquor. I didn't lose my mind when it came to my first time trying marijuana. It was okay, it's good. I could do this in increments and go on about my day and still live a full, healthy life. So in realizing that I was sheltered, I became exposed to things, and things that are just common practices in a lot of people's upbringings and a lot of people's level of understanding when it comes to what the world has to offer. I got exposed to travel. Like I mentioned, I got exposed to drugs, not necessarily trying them all, but just like actually seeing them. I got exposed to alcohol, and these things are important to be exposed to, but they're also important to understand the power that they possess and the power that you possess. So with my exposure and with my upbringing, I was able to balance. I was able to balance trying things, tapping out, and not losing my mind. So in my upbringing of college, I learned, I had my first boyfriend. Not my first boyfriend, but my first like college boyfriend. We were together for 4 years, on and off throughout college. He exposed me to Vail. He exposed me to traveling. He exposed me to just a lot of things that I did not necessarily have exposure to growing up the way that I did. And on my journey of personal growth, as I hit 31, I realized that these were all bricks lining up in my life to make me into the woman that I am today. By taking these little experiences, exposure to other cultures, and using them to be the cement between the bricks, to be the bricks, to build me into being the woman that I am today, I realized at 31, I'm doing okay. And I just bought my first home in May this year. I am a full-time real estate agent. I bought my first home. I don't have any children. I've never been married. I'm unproblematic, so it's not a matter of me not being able to find. It's just a matter of timing at this point for me. But we'll get to relationships another time. So in my upbringing, I understand that all of these layers, even being sheltered, like help prepare me to an extent for the harshness, the beauty, the chaos, the silence of life, because life brings all of those things, right? So in reflecting, I realized that I have been able to successfully fold these parts of me into being the woman who sees the world the way that I do, who can communicate about the world the way that I do. And that's what brought me here to this channel today. So I want to leave you guys with 2 tidbits of experience. My first piece of life advice for women: if you are single, if you are between the ages of 22 to 29, dare I say 30, I implore, I insist, I beg of you to do 2 things for me, okay? Number 1, live alone. I'm not saying you have a roommate and they're in one room or you're in the other room. This technically, no. Live by yourself. Embrace the silence. Embrace the messiness that you have to come home to sometimes because you're running out to girls' night or running out to a date. Embrace the solitude. Embrace not having to check in with somebody when you're coming home. Live alone. It teaches you so much about yourself because you innately start to occupy your time. You are relying on yourself. You are responsible for your bills. You are responsible for your dinners. You are responsible for the cleanliness of your home. This most certainly has helped me become the woman that I am, because I learned I have to clean my bathroom every day. Every other day, I have to clean my bathroom. I'm very anal about it. I make my bed up every morning. I have to wash my sheets every week, right? But when you instill that responsibility on yourself, you start to learn. Now, I'm not saying that everybody who lives alone operates this way or that they have to operate this way, but these are things that I know are non-negotiables about myself when it comes to living with somebody. Start taking notes when you reflect on that experience, right? The second thing, travel alone. So many Americans are terrified of traveling alone, and let me specify what I mean, baby girl, when I say travel alone. I do not mean go to the airport and fly on a plane and land and meet your friends. I do not mean traveling by yourself and laying over somewhere for 2 hours or 24 hours and meeting your friends somewhere. I do not mean if you live in America going to Houston, Texas. Not that anything is wrong with that. I mean removing yourself from the culture of America or whatever culture you live in and submerging yourself completely in another culture for at least 1 week. I know, it's scary, it's crazy. Why would a woman ever do that? But when you travel by yourself, you will learn the world is not scary, as scary as it's painted to be, especially here in the States. Danger is everywhere. And I remind people when people ask me, how do you travel alone? Oh, I got a third one too. How do you travel alone? How do you do this by yourself? This is the third one, which really should have been the second one, but that's the third one. Go out by yourself. In fact, you go out by yourself more than you realize. When you go to the grocery store, when you go to the doctor, when you go to the post office, you're by yourself. But when it comes to traveling, all of a sudden, that's where the line stops. No, I am going to be the big sis to push you over the ledge and tell you to go. Go for 1 week. You don't have to move there. You get an Airbnb, you can stay in a house. Traveling by yourself will expose you to understanding yourself in a way that you'll never be able to get that experience when you travel with a friend or a partner. Because then you learn, how do I actually like to travel? Just like we understand when we live by ourselves, how do we actually like to live? What is it that I enjoy doing? Do I want a beach vacation by myself? What am I doing in this time alone? Am I afraid to interact with people? Do I want to bring a book? Do I want to sit at a cafe? Do I want to go see all the art? What can I appreciate about being here in this space, in a culture that I don't understand, in a language that I may not understand, about traveling here and being with myself? Not to mention, if you take yourself on a vacation, can't nobody else come and dangle a vacation in front of your face and you lose your mind. Again, this goes back to that development, that self-development. I love to travel by myself, and my first one I was terrified and things went wrong, right? But it was a learning lesson, and I tell people spoil myself since I started traveling by myself. Because now I don't want to go with, nobody asked me to go with them. I don't want to go with you. I want to go alone. The third tip, tearing off of go out by yourself. Take yourself out to dinner by yourself. I take myself out on Valentine's Day. I make reservations at a romantic restaurant on February 14th. I'm a single woman, and I go there and I sit there and I have conversations with myself. And sometimes I laugh. I might seem a little crazy to other people. People come in and look at me like, I don't care. Because I enjoy my time by myself. And that for me is, at first it was like a strange thing, but now it's kind of just comical. The fact that people cannot fathom going out on Valentine's Day by yourself. How could you? I understand my power. The fact that I can sit in this space surrounded by couples. The fact that it doesn't even have to be Valentine's Day. I could be out to dinner at a romantic spot by myself and be surrounded by couples and not feel like, woe is me. And that's because I'm so happy with who I am. I'm so proud of who I am. I'm so proud of where I've come to. And when I do meet my husband, he is only going to be able to enhance these experiences that I've given myself. And it's not coming from a space of, I don't need no man, I'm an independent woman. It's coming from a space of self-love, loving myself. And I challenge you women, young girls, again, I think I said 21 to 29, dare I say 30, to try these 3 things. Travel by yourself, take yourself out to dinner often, and live by yourself. And do this consistently, at least a few times a year. Take yourself out to eat. It doesn't have to be a fancy restaurant. It just should be somewhere that you are sitting at a table, you're being served. You might want to dress up just a little bit, even if it's just a cute top and jeans and maybe some heels, not too much. And enjoy sitting there with yourself. Because for a lot of women to want to be in a relationship and they alone with somebody in a relationship and they can't even be alone with themselves, why would you want somebody who you apparently plan to love to suffer through something if you're not willing to suffer through it? If it's such a suffrageable thing to sit with yourself, right? Does that not make sense? If it seems like you're suffering by sitting by yourself, why would you want someone who you potentially love to suffer through that as well? I know my presence is a good time because I look forward to spending time by myself. So I know that when you come over here, you're going to have a good time. So take these 3 things with you. Set your intentions for the rest of this year into next year to at least do all these 3 things and start learning about yourself. And this has been the makings of my self-development and my self-love. And I'm happy that I decided to hop on here and share it with you guys. I'm looking forward to this channel growing, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.